Welcome, welcome back to my class. In this video lecture, I am going to discuss about rail gauges. Rail gauges, G A U G, gauge. Understand or not? So the term rail gauge refers that the distance between two parallel rails in a railway track is called as rail gauge. Understand or not? So the rail gauge is the distance between the two inner sides of the two parallel rails. Understand or not? So that make up a single railway line. So the distance is called as rail gauge. You can see if it is a railway track, this is the ballast. And above the ballast, sleepers will be laid, and above the sleeper, rails will be laid. And the inner, it means the distance between the two inner faces of the rails is called as gauge. Understand or not? So the distance is called as rail gauge. Understand or not? So we can define that the rail gauge as the distance between two inner faces, the distance between two inner faces of rails which are parallel is called as rail gauge. And the rail gauge is the distance between two rails of a railroad. So 60% of the world railways are using, it means a gauge that is called as a standard gauge or international gauge. Understand? So we can say that based upon the distances, it means based upon the rail gauge, the railway gauges have been classified into different types. Understand? So they are standard gauge, Cape gauge, two, and next one is the broad gauge, meter gauge, and next one is the narrow gauge. So these are all the different types of gauges which are using worldwide. Understand? No? And approximately 60% of the countries, 60% of the total railways in the world are using a gauge that is called as standard gauge, or this is also called as international gauge. Understand? No? And next one is the cap gauge. This is the gauge which is using certain European countries. Understand? No? And you can say that the distance between the two rails in case of standard gauge is taken as 1435 mm. 1435 mm. So that is the distance between two rail gauges in a railway track. Next one is the Cape gauge. The distance between two rails in case of Cape gauge is 1067 mm. Understand? So these are the two gauges, standard gauge and Cape gauge. In case of standard gauge, the gauge distance is 1435 mm, and in case of Cape gauge, the gauge distance is 1067 mm. And the next one is the broad gauge. This is a gauge which is using in India. And coming to the dimensions of broad gauge, the gauge distance in case of broad gauge is 1676 mm. And in case of meter gauge, the gauge distance is 1000 mm. And in case of narrow gauge, the gauge distances are two types of narrow gauges are there. First one is 610 mm and another one is 762 mm. So these are the two types of gauge distances which are using in narrow gauge, in case of narrow gauge. And in our India, we are not using standard gauge and narrow gauge. In our India, we are using only these three types of gauges: broad gauge, meter gauge, and narrow gauge. And approximately 60% of Indian railway lines have been constructed by using broad gauge. Understand or no? So this is about, these are the different types of gauges which are available. You see, 60% of the world's railways are using standard gauge and 60% of the Indian railways are using broad gauge. And broad gauge is also called as world's biggest gauge. World's biggest gauge, or also called as widest gauge. Okay now. So the rail gauges are larger than standard gauge are called as broad gauge. This is the definition for broad gauge. The rail gauges which are larger than standard gauge are called as broad gauge, and the rail gauges smaller than standard gauge are called as narrow gauge. A dual gauge railway have been 3 or 4 rails have been positioned so that the trains of two different gauges can use it. Understand? The place where two different gauges have been meet each other, it is called as break off gauge. Understand? So this is the break off gauge. This is the one of the most important topic which we are going to see in this session. Understand? So break off gauge. I will tell you what is break off gauge, and also I will tell you what is gauge. Gauge is the distance between two rails in a railway track, and break off gauge is nothing but the place or the point where two gauges meet each other, that is called as break off gauge. Understand? So you can see in this figure, this is a railway track which is moving with a certain gauge distance. Understand? It means it is moving with a narrow gauge. You can assume that. And after narrow gauge, at certain point, the narrow gauge have been converted into broad gauge. You can say from here, the railway track have been constructed with broad gauge. Understand? So in that case, this is the point where two gauges are meeting each other. So that point is called as break off gauge. This is the most important one. We should remember that what is gauge and what is break off gauge. Wait. These are the three types of gauges which are using in India. First one is broad gauge, next one is meter gauge, and next one is the narrow gauge. First, coming to broad gauge. So the distance between two rails in case of broad gauge is 1676 mm. This is the world's largest gauge. When clear horizontal distance between two inner faces of two parallel rails is called as broad gauge. This gauge is also known as standard gauge of India, also broadest gauge of world. And other countries like India which are using broad gauge are Sri Lanka, Brazil, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Brazil, Bangladesh. So these are all some other countries which are using broad gauge along with India. Understand? So the broad gauge is also called as a standard gauge of India, and also it is also called as world's broadest gauge. Understand? And the broad gauge we can use under some different type of situations, understand? So it means the broad gauge is suitable under only some kind of conditions, like when sufficient funds are available for the railway project, and when the projects of revenue are very bright, and when it means whenever the revenue, it means the revenue of the country is very bright, and also there is some good number of funds are there for railways. So in those cases we can employ broad gauge. And the gauge, it means the broad gauge is used for tracks in plain areas which are densely populated, that is for routes of maximum traffic intensities, and at places which are centers of industry and commerce. So in those cases we can use the broad gauge. Next one is coming to meter gauge. The gauge distance, or the distance between two inner faces of rails in case of meter gauge, is 1000 mm. That's why it is called as meter gauge. When the horizontal clear distance between the inner faces of two parallel rails forming a track is 1000 mm, so then that gauge is called as meter gauge. Understand or no? In India, we are using meter gauge. 40% of Indian rails are connected with meter gauge, and 60% of Indian rails are connected with broad gauge. Understand or no? Along with India, few countries are also using meter gauge. They are France, Switzerland. So these are the countries which are using meter gauge along with India, are France, Switzerland, Argentina. So like that, few countries which are using meter gauge. Understand? And next one is it means that the meter gauge is also suitable under certain conditions like broad gauge. Especially the meter gauge is suitable under the conditions when the funds available for the railway project are not sufficient, and when the prospects of revenue are not very that much bright, and also this gauge is used for the tracks in underdeveloped countries. Understand? So in those cases we can use meter gauge. Understand? And next one is the narrow gauge. The narrow gauge have been classified into two types. One is it means the gauge distance when it is a 610 mm, which is called as a 16 narrow gauge, and whenever the gauge distance between two rails is 762 mm, that is called as 762 narrow gauge. Understand? So these are the two types of narrow gauge which are there. Understand? And in India only less than 10% we are using narrow gauges. Understand? And along with India, the narrow gauge is used in South Africa and Britain. Only these are the two countries which are using narrow gauge. And this narrow gauge is only suitable under whenever the country is poor. It means whenever the country cannot expend so that much of money in railways, and also whenever the revenue of the country is too much low from railways. In those cases we can use narrow gauge. And one more case is that the place where we cannot employ broad gauge or standard gauge or meter gauge, in those cases we can apply only narrow gauge, like especially such congested areas like forests, hilly areas. In those cases also we can employ narrow gauge. And the narrow gauge also we can employ under such conditions that for industries, it means only to convey the goods or the products from industries, agriculture. Understand? So in this case we can use narrow gauge. Understand? And also narrow gauge can be used for tourist purpose. Understand? So for these purposes we can use narrow gauge. In our India only less than 10% we are using narrow gauge. Okay. So these are the three types of gauge distances which are using in India. That is their broad gauge, meter gauge, and narrow gauge. Understand? And one more concept we need to see is that we have been already seen that breaking of gauge. Next one I am going to discuss about uniformity in gauges. So breaking of gauge is nothing but the point where two gauges will meet each other. That is called breaking of gauges. And the next one is that the rail gauge, which is, it means the rail gauge which is maintained throughout the length of the railway line or throughout the length of the it means throughout entire distance of the railway route is contains only one gauge distance, so then that is called as uniformity in gauges. It means if you take a railway line or if you take a railway track, it should contain a single, what to say, it should contain a single gauge distance throughout a distance, so then it will be good. It means it will give some sustainability, it will give some economic benefits, and also it will give some safety and comfort to the public. So yes now, so that's why uniformity in gauges is the most important criteria why we are selecting a gauge distance for a railway track. Understand now? And but the policy of India and its topographical, geological, and financial conditions. Understand now? So based on all these conditions like financial, topographical, and geological conditions, the India have adapted different gauges throughout different parts of India. So that is the disadvantage of Indian Railways, because in our India, our Indian Railways is not able to maintain uniformity in gauges. Understand now? But in our India, we are using different gauges in different parts of India, and also even if you take a railway line, a single railway line, in that single railway line also in our India we are using different gauge distances even in a single lane. Understand? So that type of breaking of gauge having some advantages, and also breaking of gauge having some disadvantages. Understand? So you can see, first of all, you can see the advantages of breaking of gauge, because in India we are using breaking the gauge, we are not using uniformity in gauges. Understand? So it is better to discuss about breaking gauge, breaking of gauge, or breaking in gauge. Breaking in gauge. Understand? So it means a few advantages are there. A country like India, understand? The advantages are, the most effective advantage of breaking the gauge is to render the railway an economical and profitable concern. Understand? A country like India, we can break the railways, or we can break the railway gauge to render the railway an economical and profitable concern. This is one of the advantage of breaking gauge. Next one is the breaking in gauge. It can facilitate the provision of steeper gradient, sharp curves, and narrow tunnels by adapting a less wide gauge in hilly and rocky areas. Understand now? In hilly areas, rocky areas, and wherever we need to construct a tunnel, in those cases, the breaking in gauge may be useful. Understand? And wherever we need to provide a steep and a steeper gradient, it means on a steep gradient, and wherever we need to change the direction of the railway route, we can provide a curve. Understand? So under all these circumstances, the breaking in gauge may be useful. Understand? But the breaking in gauge, it will be useful under few circumstances, like whenever we need to change the direction, and wherever it means hilly areas are there, rocky areas are there, and wherever we need to construct tunnels. Understand? So in those cases, the breaking in gauge may be useful, but in case of passengers, in case of time, money, maintenance, and operation, the breaking in gauge is not that much advisable. Understand? Because the breaking in gauge can cause much inconvenience to the passenger, because wherever the breaking in gauge is there, in that case they need to change the train. It means the railway track is changing from broad gauge to meter gauge, means they need to get on from the train and again they need to catch some other train. Understand? So it can cause some inconvenience to passengers, and it also causes some delay in the movement of people and goods, and also it results in wastage in time. Understand or no? So wastage in time. So this is the one of the major disadvantage of braking in gauge, and it also involves in some extra operational maintenance cost, and also it needs some extra certain skilled labor it need. Understand, and also it requires provision of extra and costly transshipment areas, godowns, sheds, etc. Understand? So at every junction station we need to change the gauge. Understand? So in those cases at every station we need to have a railway ad. Understand? So that's why these are all the certain disadvantages of breaking the gauge. Understand? No? So the breaking in gauge also causes extreme difficulty in quick movement of military and ammunition during war days. So these are all the various disadvantages of breaking in gauge. Okay, now so this is about gauge distances. Okay, guys. In this session, we have been discussing that what is a gauge, what is gauge distance, what are the different types of gauges available in worldwide, and what are the different types of gauges using in India. Understand now? And what are the different types of gauges available in are using in different type of countries we have been seeing, and also we have been seeing what is uniformity in gauge, what are the advantages of uniformity in gauge, and what is breaking in gauge, what are the advantages of breaking in gauge, and what are the disadvantages of breaking in gauge. All those things we have been discussed in this session. Thank you very much.